So, what is casting? Casting is a manufacturing process in which a liquid material is usually poured into a mold, which contains a hollow cavity of the desired shape and then allowed to solidify. The process of casting can be established by the following steps. First of all, we emptied the sand in a wide area. Then, we proceed to make the mixture by adding bentonite. Later on, we used the shovel to remove the lumps from the mixture made. Next, a part of the mold was filled to place the core, and after that, we proceeded to flatten the sand to compact and remain it stable in the mold.
Flattening is a process that helps the coal to compact and secure the mold to the figure, achieving better accuracy in questions of how exactly the mold is. Once flattened, the mold is turned over in order to release the piece that serves as the base for the casting. Here we have to be extremely careful because if you hit the floor, this can cause compacting to spoil, creating holes in the mold. Subsequently, the piece is removed from the mold and the interior is cleaned to avoid impurities. Once cleaned, 5 holes are created to release heat and 2 that serve to pure aluminum. At the time of pouring the aluminum, one must take extreme care as the material is at 660 degrees and can cause major accidents. Once the aluminum has been completely poured, it will take 15 to 20 minutes for it to cool down. After the cooling time is done, the mold is removed and the piece is obtained.
In order to make this practice, a couple of critical steps were needed to be taken. One of them was the sieving. In this part of the process, the sand had to be really thin and then compacted into the mold. Since we were in a bit of a rush, this step wasn't done carefully, and the fact that the sand wasn't really compacted generated small fissures inside of the mold, and this occasioned that when we pour the aluminum melted into the mold, it spilled out of it.
Well, this is was our piece. As we can see, is not complete. We only have a half of the piece. As my partner said before, an incorrect compactation of sand was very important because the mold collapsed and it forms little gaps between the sand and the mold, so the mold collapsed as we can see in the final piece. We also have these air bubbles as we can see here. This can be because when we float the metal into the mold, the metal was turbulent and it forms these air bubbles that makes that our piece have this space of no metal. Other things that we have to consider to our piece fail was the incorrect put of the mold because the cope and the rack didn't assemble very well, and it generate flash as we can see here and we can see here.
So, what we can conclude, we must be very carefully, step by step, in order to obtain the best possible result. Doing ourselves tell us that outside the theoretical aspect of the topics is very important to understand the meaning of the practice. This should be balanced with the practical. If we want to have an internal learning, we have to do the theoretical and the practical stuff in balance. As we saw, the practice was very good and is a clear area of opportunity for future practice.